Whisky Wayfarers. That's what we're doing. We've been having a bit of a chat in the back room. I'm just sipping on a little beautiful double cask here from Hellyers, and we're going to get in some beers. Firstly, guys, we've got Fiona, not master, head distiller from
Way
Hellyers
to not
Road,
make it weird, bro.
and Andrew, the boss guy. He said to introduce him. He brews, he bosses, he makes great beer, which I'm looking forward to cracking. Cheers and cheers. Very generous samples, guys. To all those out there that aren't on screen that got a pack as well. So thank you guys for facilitating this. Hellyers Road, the long road in, as I've liked to call it, and what you guys have done. Love the packaging and everything with the brand and the premiumization that you guys have put together. I think it's fantastic, and all the awards and everything you guys are doing. So, pretty everyone on here tonight. Pretty what's the word? Pretty lucky little bunch to be receiving a couple of 20 years. One's a single cast and 21-year-old, and then obviously the guys at Communion bringing the beers to the table. So we'll kick it off. We're going to have the Voyager first. You can crack into the normal beer to start with. I think you guys already popped a couple of your cans, right?
Yeah, whoopsie.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. We're starting with the Voyager. We're starting with the Voyager, Ray. Are you saying that the tasting bed's not in order? So this isn't normally like it is quite often that somebody would get a dram confused and like mispour. It's not a miscommon thing that happens.
Are you saying you got a tasting mat? Because I did not. No. So the order is the Voyager and then the peaches, and then the 21-year-old peated last. And obviously we'll just sip through the. I guess, Andrew, that's a good one for you to tell us when to finish our normal beer and move on to the coffee porter, which I'm looking forward to. But, guys, I just want to say before we kick in, big thanks. Mass generosity for sending these out is just off the charts. And I'm looking forward to kicking into them and see what everyone reckons at home and obviously here. And Badge, you're going to have some packs to make up because people want it for sale and it's not for sale. So, Fiona, would you like to take it away, or Andrew, or both?
Sure. Well, thank you, Ray, for inviting us to come and do this tasting with you guys. And yeah, it's kind of pretty cool and unusual, I suppose, to have such great age statements, Tassie whiskey, all in one little tasty pack to try. And you've got three of my absolute favourites in this pack. So kicking off with that Voyager cask. This one, actually, I'm actually going to defer to D-Baz because he knows all the awards off by heart for all of our parts. But, you know, with Voyager, this is the second release of Voyager in the series of casks that we've nicknamed Fruit Pie Casks or Voyager Casks. And I think the previous 19-year-old also won some awards as well at the World Whisky Awards, but this one did as well. What did it win, D-Baz? I can't remember.
The 19-year-old in 2024 won Best Small Batch at the World Whisky Awards for Australia, won gold at the San Francisco Spirit Awards, won gold at the World Whisky Masters, I think, and the IWSC. Something along those lines.
All off by heart.
And then this current one won gold at San Fran and at the World Whisky Awards last year.
Wicked. So this cask has had an interesting, this series of casks has had an interesting life, I suppose. It has had a voyage, hence the name. So we do have a bit of a travel theme across a lot of our product range, and this is one of those. So the original maturation casks was a batch of 10 American Oak ex-bourbon casks from 2003. They're all manual casks, and they were vatted together in 2020 and put into 5 finishing casks, French oak that had been down to Frogmore Creek. And the lifespan of those casks at Frogmore was interesting, or in the south. So went from having a Pinot in it at Frogmore, and then went to Jean Pascal, the baker in Hobart, that's quite famous for doing all sorts of delicious baked goods, and he actually macerated his fruit and brandy in those casks for his fruit mince pies at Christmas time. So after that, those casks went back to Frogmore Creek, and they put in a Ruby Pinot. So I think the Ruby Pinot was in there for, I'm not sure, a couple of years. I don't actually know that bit, to be honest. Before they came up to us, 5 of those casks, to be filled with delicious whiskey from 2003. And they filled into those casks at like 69%. I don't really know why they went in so high. There's some interesting things in our bond store when you look at the casks, and one of those things is, for no apparent reason at times, they filled directly off the spirit still and didn't dilute prior to putting it to casks. So there's just small packets of casks that are in maturation still that are sitting at 70%. Like, it's absolutely wild that they're so high.
I don't mind that though. What do you fill at now? Do you have like a fixed ABV that you fill at, or do you sort of like, and is it standard 63, or do you go a little bit lower because of our climate down here?
It's standard 63.5 and has been for quite a number of years. Having said that, our ABV in cask at Hellyers, and its peculiarity of our environment up here, it actually doesn't change in cask. It varies by maybe 1 to 2% in its entire lifespan. So we've got casks, as I said, still sitting at that 69, 70 mark, and they went in at that.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So we might gain or we might lose like 1 or 2% in ABV, but largely they stay the same. So one of the things that I'd like to do and have done a bit of, particularly with finishing casks, is actually vary the ABV on fills. So going for a first round of finishing at, say, 55, 57,
Yep.
and then to the second bite of that cask going much higher to try and get a second go at the cask. But
I tend to love like the slightly under ABV of Tassie whiskey, sort of 55 to 57. I think is a sweet spot for any whiskey. 52 to 55 in bottle. Yeah,
Yep.
I'd love to see. I just think I think we should say it right here and right now. I think this is what you should do next week when you go to fill some casks. 55 to 57%.
Yeah. While we're on that, Fiona, I don't know if you just said it or not, but did you add water to the Voyager? Is it or
yeah, in bottle. Yes, yeah. So
Yeah,
to bring
stop the
it down to
I'm kidding. Yeah, so 54.7.
Yeah.
And you're saying 10 casks for this one, yeah?
Yeah, 10 casks down, batted into 5 225 litre French oak casks.
What was your I guess your loss on that after 20 years?
I'll have to go back and see the individual records for those casks, but on average, the casks, the really, really old stuff that spent most of its life in our bond store on site, so what we call the concrete bunker up at Hellyers, because it is like very, very cool and great climate for aging stuff for an extended period.
Forever.
It's about 2.3%. It's quite low, so lower than the Scottish average even.
I was going to say, you're sort of trying to think back to the specific casks on this. I mean, this is being recorded on stream, but I reckon just make it up. Like, I reckon just, on average, 15%.
Yeah, it would be that 23%. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm just getting into the beer and going back and forth. So when I have a whiskey and a beer, and that's what I love to have together, because you got to have 2 hands full of alcohol, not one. And as I always say, I like to get an order of what's better for the matchup, the beer or the whiskey. So beer first or whiskey first, I should say. And that beer is so malty, mate. It's just it's delicious. I'm absolutely loving it. Get a lot of that malt on the finish for me, but I find the whiskey is really, really nice straight after the beer.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a glass for your beer as well.
Yes, it's pretty wanky glass, but there you go.
That is not a normal glass for the brand.
It's a normal glass. That's literally called a beer glass. Denver and Lily, there you go, or Lily, however you like to say it. So what's the malt backbone of that coming from, or am I just not with it?
No. Like there's a little bit of obviously it's not a malty beer as such, because often those are kind of your more ambers and whatnot. But it does have. I mean, it's the fact that it's pretty normal means that the ingredients that are in it stand out pretty well. So a lot of ale malt and then just a sprinkling of crystal malt in this one, just to give it a little bit of the colour. But we really just wanted to make a beer that, because we at Communion we only serve our own beers, and so people come in and ask for a Bogue's draft or whatever. And it's like, well, actually we have beers here that we make, and so we did want a beer that was sort of attractive for everyone, for your average beer drinker, and so
so a normal beer.
Well, that actually came from this building. This is where we started at the chapel and the cafe around the corner. And we used to run Friday nights here, and we'd only have Tassie Craft, and people would come in here all the time and just say, do you just have any normal beer? I don't want any of this crafty shit. And so I literally went home, made a recipe called normal beer, brewed it, and brought it back in 2 weeks' time. I'm like, there you go. And when next time someone asks for a normal beer, and often people don't look at the list, they're just like, I don't want any of this shit, I just want a normal beer. And you just turn around, pour them this, and sit it on the counter. And it's like, it's normal beer, it says normal beer. So yeah, it's pretty kind of unoffensive, but it still has that, like, it's still like yummy malt, and there is actually hop character in it. We do actually dry hop it, which is not normal for the kind of mass produced beers. There's definitely no dry hop there, but we just think just a little bit of dry hop in this one, of the fruity variety. So moderate business, nice and refreshing.
What's the yeast?
This is the USO 5, so it's a nice and clean. Yeah, goes with nearly everything.
I don't know if it's just my troll nature, but I would have loved you to have made a normal beer, but made it like the hoppiest IPA, craftiest beer ever at like 2.5% or something like that. Just to really pitch everybody up.
And
it's going to be soured as well.
And soured.
And then they're like, I want a normal beer.
Yeah.
But probably not good from a business point of view. But just people walk in, ask for a normal beer, then
just give them that. Well, I'll send you that entire batch that we make. Yeah.
Take this in just in case you ever see John Jarvis's resume pop up and you just go,
yeah.
No.
I know what you're going to do.
How's everyone finding the pairing with the Voyager, though?
I think it's brilliant. I think you sort of hit the nail on the head. I think a beer and then whiskey, I think it really boosts the fruitiness of that Voyager cask. There's just enough bitterness there that just makes that Voyager cask delightfully sweet. You start to get all that fruit coming forward. So it's quite a nice pairing. It's not they're very complementary. It's certainly not overwhelming the dram.
No, that's actually something that the Voyager's fruity and gorgeous, but that pairing, it actually does really bring that out, doesn't it? That character.
Yeah.
Those notes that I've not actually noticed in this cast before. It's more been. I'm looking for the influence of the Ruby Pinot and the previous life versus the tropical notes that we quite often get in the old casks. And obviously we're moving on to that 20-year-old single cask, and a lot of the casks from 2004 are super tropicals, but not so much 2003. So this is actually quite interesting.
Are you saying we're moving on, Fiona? Because I haven't even actually tasted the Voyager. I've just been here nosing it.
Just
I'm a little bit late to the party. It's so easy just to nurse and like give a good go. Obviously, well, probably not obviously. I've been sort of working in Tassie booze for a little while now, and I do remember Hellyers, 10 years ago, one of my first Tassie whiskies I got into. I have no idea what it was. it was such a good entry level whiskey, entry level for people wanting to get into Tasmanian whiskey because of the price point. Obviously, Tasmanian whiskey has that elevated price point, and it's just absolutely blowing my mind. Sort of how, I guess, being able to see the progression of Hellyers Road and the products and the drams and not the people because Dabaz works for Hellyers, but come on, I've got to get one little dig in, right? So,
well, on that too, John, this is a 20-year-old Tasmanian whiskey, which is one pretty remarkable to start with. Like when you look at aged whiskies in Australia, there's not many people getting to Tasmania, Australia, the whole lot. Not many people get into 20 years yet. So your guys' catalogue is pretty insane with that. But also, the bads. What are we looking at for a 700 ml? This guy.
This is $6.90 a bottle, retail.
$6.90 for a 20-year-old Australian whiskey. 700 ml as well. Yep. Well, I didn't get the 700 ml. I only got the 50 ml, but I'm okay with that. Tight bugger, Jesus. No, but honestly, not even $700 and 20 years. That's pretty insane for an Australian whiskey when you see the prices of what things are coming out at. So cheers to that, guys. I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, cheers. And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is being accessible, and not giving into that, frankly, the wank factor, to put it really bluntly.
I think that's what we're here for.
Well, but make it accessible so that people can actually try it.
Drink it. That's right. Yeah.
Drink it, not just stick it on a shelf and collect it, like what you guys. You know what I mean? And one of the things I think you can safely say about Hellyers is we've been toiling away up here on the northwest coast, and Tassie is a small remote place anyway, and then you factor in that we're up the little corner of the island away from the big city, the big smoke of Hobart. We kind of get forgotten about up here, but we just get on with it.
Have you ever thought about relocating to somewhere that's not the northwest coast?
That's not it. No, sorry. I actually grew up here, and as soon as I graduated uni, I came back, weirdly. But I love it up here, so I don't have it any other way.
Don't tell too many people how nice it is, though.
Yeah.
You realize as a tap room, Andrew, that's not good for business, though.
Hey, no. We're all about the tourists. They can come and go. Yeah.
As a town, you've got a great whiskey distillery. You've got a brilliant brewery, and there's at least one good cafe in town. So I think you got what you need, really.
Exactly.
So all of us, there's 9 screens. All of us will fit on a bus. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll drive. It'll be fine.
We'll not put anyone through that again. All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to moving on these peaches from Georgia. That's where I get my peaches from. As we go. It's a Justin Bieber song.
I can't believe you just dropped a Justin Bieber joke in the chat, Raymond. I had to take myself off mute.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I didn't even get the reference. I thought he was referring to presidents of the United States of America, like going back.
They would have come from a can, and they would have come from
a
can.
You had so many options.
Yeah, I did.
Man.
I've gone and embarrassed myself, and also my lid just keeps turning, so I'm not drinking this one tonight.
Oh no! Just grab it. If you've got a little waiter's friend, you can just snick the.
Yeah, I was going to say, or use the teeth, just rip it off.
I've tried.
All right. So anyway, while Ray is struggling with his bottle, I guess I should pour out. Already got this on board. Actually, we poured this one earlier.
You just got to use a little hook, and we're good.
Yeah.
Now I have to finish this one because that lid is definitely not returnable.
You will.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, you have to finish at least one of them, Ray. Let's think logically. You don't have to finish this particular one because the caps,
Well, there's only 150 mils, John. So
yes, I agree with that. I'm saying Yes, okay. Just finish them all. What I think you're wanting is, yes, just finish them all. Break all of your lids, all of your caps, and away you
And
go.
then I don't have a choice.
2004. Yeah.
All right,
So,
peaches.
yeah, the nose on that is wild compared to the Voyager after going from Voyager beer peaches. It's very cool. Give it a bit of a look in the glass.
And it's got all types of peaches in there. It's like peach Danish. Those little I love those little fried egg candies, little peaches and cream gummy lollies.
That was
Whisky waffles.
Boys.
Yeah, peach
all about
lollies.
that, peach lollies. And like peaches in syrup. It's a bit full on. There's some lovely nectarine in there as well, which is pretty out there.
I'm loving that finish, and again, I had it after the beer, so it changed a lot of flavors and things like that. But that finish is just like a creme brulee, like vanilla, just keeps going, just stays in my mouth. Love it. It's that fruity up front and just the vanilla on the end for me is.
Yeah, the palate.
So this cask is obviously it's a single cask from 2004, 4253. So laid down on the 253rd day of the year, and it's the fourth cask. And I can say surety that the cask filled just prior to this, the number 3 cask, has none of that tropical character. It's absolutely wild. They lived on the same timber cradle in the same bond store, filled on the same day from the same mash, etc., etc. So it literally comes down to whatever tree that cask 4253 was cut from, which to me is absolutely wild and fabulous, because you can do everything in the distillery exactly the same way and still get a crazy different result out the other end.
It may have been a peach tree.
It may have been.
I know. I mean, there's signs.
Same distillery.
I think that's what I've always loved about craft distilling and Tassie whiskey, especially, is you can, like you're saying, you can have the exact same mash bill, same distillation, same cuts, same everything, same wood finish, and it's a completely different product. Compared to, I guess, some of the global brands that just decant layers of bourbon to drop, into a release. There's no selecting one that stands out. So very different to the first one as well. I know the first one had the French oak influence as well, but like the first one now, with it opening up, just giving me a bit more of that leather note come through, which I love. This one to me, even though it's slightly lower ABV, it's just a little bit more spirit forward on the nose, like just a little bit more spiritus, but not in the bad way. It's not offensive by any stretch, just a bit more of the underlying spirit coming through for me.
Yeah, we saw that tropical character out of the glass.
And at 52.8, did you bring this one down to that, or was that? Yep. Was this one of the ones that was over 70?
I am racking my brain. I don't think it was. I think.
And 52.8 is pretty specific. So you just it's ready now. No more water. Add no more water to the soup.
I'll do some trials before deciding on the ABV. Generally, and just where it drinks best.
What's your process of picking a single cask? So how many people involved? What tasting panel or processes, or do you just walk in one day and be like, "This is great, we're bottling this"?
So this one was one of those. So we just pulled down. We had I think international visitors, was it D-Bads that day? I can't remember. We were giving a grand tour for somebody, and we're like, "Oh right, we'll get down some old casks and pop the bung on this one." And I think it was you, D-Bads, that actually went, "Oh my god, it smells like peaches." And it just absolutely stuck.
Meanwhile, he's eating peach.
And we
your hand soaked, just into the bathroom.
I remember afterwards, because it stood out so much when we had the guest, that afterwards then we sort of pulled a bit more and we went around the distillery team saying, like, knows this, what does this taste like? What do you get out of this? And everyone was just like, that's totally different to anything I've ever nosed coming out of that bond store before. What's going on here? And that's when all the fact checking went, well, let's go see what's going on here. Let's look back into it. And yeah, it was entirely unremarkable on paper. Like it was just the next in that series that we're getting filled. But for some reason, that one cask just presented so differently. I mean, once we did bottle it and then put it in the racks, I mean, I think it sat there before about a year before we found a spot where we could actually then even release it to public with what we already had planned. But it was so unique that we knew we had to pull it out, we had to bottle it, had to get it ready for when we found the right time to release it, which was earlier this year.
I stamped my little foot and said to Derek, our boss, mate, this is ready now. I do not want to wait until this is 21. It's absolute prime. I'll be putting it in bottle. Thank you very much. So yeah,
I love that you say that, because we're streaming out to an audience, but a lot of people probably won't understand that just even letting it go another term, another 6 months or 9 months or a year could change it dramatically. So yeah, props to you for telling Derek that. He's got to be told sometimes. So I hope he doesn't watch this, by the way.
He's a big intimidating bloke.
One of my small segue. One of my fondest experiences is when Mark Littler was up there, and I was up there with the Tasmanian Whisky Committee, and we just had a meeting, and he was like, I've pulled some casks for us to try, and they were some of the best casks best whiskies I've ever tried. Just straight from the rack, Spirit Thief, no water, no air, and I love that. That's just an experience that you can't always do that. So when you say that this was just sort of plucked and you knew it was ready, absolutely understand that. That's phenomenal. Again, I still haven't tasted it. I'm just nosing it. Just.
I think when I was down there, Debads, and Fiona, I was with both of you, and I was looking at this, and there was a certain stout cask that we were trying when I was down there, and I just thought, geez, I'm looking forward to popping this. But that stout cask that I tried down there with a porter, that would be delicious.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we do a lot of experiments, Drew. That's for sure. There's one about to come out too.
True. Next one.
I was with you as well, Teagues, and that stout cask was just phenomenal, wasn't it? I don't know if you guys.
That was a good day, Ray. Good day.
It was a good day. It was a good day.
What's your barrel program, I guess? So maturing mainly in ex-bourbon, the French oak. What are your French oak casks? Are they wine casks, sherry, port?
So everything, we kind of call ourselves an ex-bourbon distillery.
Yep.
So 99% of the new make goes into ex-bourbon.
Beautiful. Love that.
From the get-go.
Yep.
Yeah. And probably spends 5 years in ex-bourbon before we even think about doing anything with it. And then would be moved on to, say, Roaring 40s and Aurora, the ex-bourbon that's in those two whiskies is about 5.5 years of age.
Yep.
And then double cask is the next step up, so 5 years old, and then into Tasmanian ex-Pinot Noir casks from around the state. So we're sourcing from Ghost Rock, Tamar Ridge, Frogmore Creek, Freycinet, I think who else? A few other odds and sods around, but yeah, a little bit picky these days with who we deal with for the ex-Pinot Noir casks. And they're a straight fill. We're not doing anything with those, just making sure they're not sulfury, obviously, for the double cask program. So it used to be that they finish it for the Pinot Noir finish for 6 months and then bottle it.
Yep.
I personally felt that was a bit disjointed. There was too much of the wine influence, and it hadn't integrated very well with the whiskey. So now we've sort of upped that. Reduced the fill strength down to that 55, 57 into those casks, and extended the finishing period for up to 2 years prior to it being battered, married, and moved on to bottling. So that's French oak from Tassie. The wine casks. And then aside from that, we have a giant parcel of Oloroso sherry casks from 2014 that are Spanish or European oak, verified by Dave from Transwood. He's like, those casks are so bloody heavy, they can't be any other oak. Quizzing him about what oak type they are, because there's no records, of course. And then a whole variety of just recently, like with the new guard coming into Hellyers, I suppose, the new custodians, it's myself and Derek and D-Bads that get very excited about all sorts of finishing casks. I've got a whole suite of sherry seasoned casks, like 4-year seasoned casks coming through the program. So
maple syrup
yeah,
casks.
a whole variety.
Oh, yeah.
Maple.
No,
Bit of bacon.
Yeah.
So
Do have some
on this-
results that are a bit weird.
on this single cast, a couple of questions. One for you, Fiona. How many bottles did you get out of it?
180.
In the nose?
It was 179, 180. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Plus,
cool.
we took them afterwards.
Yeah.
On the nose, it smells like peaches. No, wrong question. And
Yeah.
and again, this is a single cast, so $6.90 for the Voyager. Same age statement. Almost ABVs aren't far off. Just a couple of clicks. The Bads, what's the price on this?
This one goes to just over 1,000. So when we go to single casks, it's, as we like to call them, like exceptional casks. The one that we pick as being just so unique and so awesome. Whereas the Voyager cask, we consider it core range. It's like Fiona said, there's multiple casks of it. So once one runs out, Fiona preps the next one, and we continue it.
20-year-old core range. We've got plenty of it.
Yeah, and that's the point of the price point. It is to say that, you know, we can put this into a wholesaler, so we can have something like ALM Paramount, you know, go out to market and say, like, you know, you want to buy a Tassie whiskey of this age? Yeah, this is available at wholesale rate. Or you can go into really great premium retail stores that want to range something with age, but they're obviously quite apprehensive sometimes because they'll buy two and then they can't get it again. They don't want to program shit and redo it all and everything. We continually offer the Voyager label again and again. So once one cask is done, the next one comes through. So that consistency of supply, which is the future of whiskey in Australia eventually, you know, once everyone gets big enough to be able to be producing liquid where they continually carry age with statements like Glenfiddich 21, 18-year-old and the like, that approachability and price is what helps, I think, people step up to get something like that where it's not seen as astronomically expensive. But when we get an amazing, unique single cask like the Peaches cask, well, that's where you're paying a bit more for a premium because it's so unique. It's so different.
No, and I think explanation very welcome. But when it comes to single cask, you also don't need it. There's always a percentage more of what it should be. The Voyager is what it is. As consistent to a point of what it can be, but also a single cask at 20 years old for just over 1,000. You say, or 1,000 on the nose?
Yeah, 1,150.
Yeah. So $1,000 if you 1,150. I think that's pretty remarkable for a 20-year-old single cask of Australian whiskey, personally. And also, 750.
I have two things to say. So I finally tasted this, and I hate that you've said peaches and creams because it's all I can taste now. So
Yeah.
I think that cream thing for me, John, was on the finish. The vanilla and cream on the finish for me, we just kept on going.
That's one of the sort of
second thing I just want to say. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yep. You go, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sorry to drop down there for a minute. Second thing I want to say is I've tried to be on my best behaviour, and Debats was the first one to swear on this stream.
And that is true.
So now the gloves are off now, right? So and it has been set. But that is great, and I love that. And I really do love the approach that Hellyers Road has of like putting out, you know, age statement, core range, and then doing this as well, like the single cask as well. There's, you know, you guys know more than anybody. Everybody knows there's a demand for it, for quality aged Australian whiskey, and it's so hard to come by. So yeah,
Yeah, and
love
I think so
And
too.
it's great.
I think so too, John. The badge, you put the letter and everything on the bottom of everyone's pack, so threw it in the bin. No one got to read it. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't read it either, by the way. I should have.
Did everyone get their letter, by the way? And their mats and this, that, the other? Yeah, sweet. So as I was saying, it's in that. I hope it come across the right way. That you guys are coming to your own. It's for me. I bought a stack of Hellyers Road going back 14 years ago, with and the old label and the skinny bottle, which is that a Ducker bottle, by the way, the old one? It's got to be close to a Ducker bottle.
No, it's got a screw cap.
Well, there you go.
Ariane bottle.
Same shape, different
Yeah.
top. But
Well, I don't know if Duckett coined that bottle. I don't know if you can say it's a Duckett bottle. Maybe Duckett's using a Hellyers bottle. Or was
no,
using a
it's
Hellyers.
just,
a good
no,
point.
I'll let it come on the bottle, Mr. Tim, if you're out there listening. But
When did
no,
Tim do his first release in a bottle? When did that
before
happen?
you? I'm kidding.
Was
I
it?
have no idea. I've no idea.
I don't
He was
know.
like, the badge is like, we were first. Calm down. You're not using it anymore, and he still is. But no, I just I love the road you've taken for me, and that's why I called it a long road in, because every step, you've gotten better. And if I have a whiskey that I don't enjoy or whatever, I say it's not for me. It's and your early stuff wasn't for me. Now though, with the way it's going, and your 10-year-old Jerez, like that is a fantastic whiskey, fantastic 10-year-old Australian whiskey. And I think every step you're taking with packaging and what you've become is just a start to where you're going, in my opinion. And it's awesome. And even going around the distillery and trying things straight from the barrel and this, that, the other, the stuff you've got that you're sitting on, it's just a whole lot of fun to play with. So kudos.
I think it's key. I used to run bars in Melbourne, and used to stock whiskeys and way too many whiskeys because I liked whiskey. But back then, when I ran bars, like I'd go, oh yeah, I want some Australian whiskey. I've got 1 hour a week to do my orders and things like that. You don't have a lot of time to search stuff out. So you look in a wholesaler, you go, oh yeah, cool, there's an Australian whiskey. The only one, Hellyers Road. I'll order one of those, and they were pretty fucking shit, in the simplest of terms. Those whiskeys then. So I'd get them in and have them on the shelf, and they wouldn't.
I was trying to be polite and not swear.
But I think it tells to the story that we're talking about here, because like back then, if someone said to me, oh, you want to go work for Hellyers Road, I would have been like, no way, not a chance. But when I moved to Tassie and started working in whiskey, and then I met people at Hellyers and I used to go visit. Hellyers is 10 minutes from where my wife's family's from. Used to go there, and I got to go in the Bond store and try stuff like you guys did when you did a tour. And I was like, oh, wow, how old is this? What? Like, oh, this doesn't taste anything like, what I've experienced in the past. And so when I was chatting to Derek and some people at the distillery and Fiona, when I was interested in maybe going to work for Hellyers, and everyone was like, you're crazy. Why would you go work for them? I said, yeah, I've seen what it was like in the past, but I've seen what the whiskeys are turning into now. The barrels have finally come of age. The flavor is really starting to show, but there's a person in charge now, by the name of Fiona, who has a palate that's unbelievable, that could take those whiskeys and bring them together to be something that's been never released from that distillery before, and really show what that quality of that liquid can be done when it's handled correctly. And underneath someone with her skill, suddenly we're getting someone that's picking casks out of there that are fit for purpose. Like beforehand, I think they just said, oh, we need more 12-year-old American oak to release. So they just pull down whatever 12-year-old American oaks were close, mix them all together, put it in a bottle and send it out. But now Fiona analyzes everything. She chooses. She goes, that's
Wait, is that not? Are you not meant to do that? Don't you just like?
How did you used to do it, Jarvis?
The John Jarvis way of whiskey selection.
I'd just go into my office. I'd just drink until I could barely walk out, and whatever cask got slumped over, that'd be like the peak for the next release.
Actually,
Sorry, I might need to edit that out. Actually,
Probably not. But I got to say, John, the whiskey at the Helmer Hobart when you were there I haven't tried some for a while, but was right on. But I got to say, one day I definitely did get a bum steer, it was like that. And we're going through. He's like, go up the top. They've been up there for a while. I'm like, this is vodka. Like, oh shit! I filled them last week. I was like, okay, now I guess. Unaged.
We do have we have plenty of photos of people up in the tops of the racks, not adhering to work health and safety protocols. I'm pretty sure we have one of Andy and Simon and you, Ray.
Yeah,
as well.
I think also the bads where you're going with it is the packaging of the Hellyers Road is just fantastic. Love it, and I think it definitely complements the quality of the whiskey in the bottle now. And the packaging for the whiskey of Hellyers Road prior was somewhat different, and I also think reflected the whiskey in the bottle, in my opinion. But again,
it's something we'll look back at fondly as a museum piece, right? It's still a part of the heritage of the brand. You can look back and go, you can see how far you've come. Is it too early to start talking about next year? Obviously, you guys are turning 30 next year, right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And that's is correct. So
before we
there's pretty big plans next year, right?
We pop the next whiskey in the next beer because
sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
But no, definitely pour a whiskey and definitely pop the beer. But yeah, to that point, next year is our 30th anniversary. We are very lucky, like Fiona said, that we've got some really old casks there, and obviously we're building up to releasing some pretty spectacular whiskies for next year. Even some that are coming soon this year are pretty fantastic, but they'll be getting us into the position where we can release some pretty momentous stuff, calling upon some of those really old casks that we've got at the distillery, which Fiona is pouring over quite regularly for our requests. So yeah, we're always looking for things, and our eyes are always greedier than the ability of what we can actually turn out. Fiona has to entertain my requests quite often where I need things. What was that?
Endless requests.
Endless requests, that's right. I look through the register and I see things that I'm like, oh, what's that? Can you pull that out? And you're like, no, it's 10 layers deep, 5 stories high. That's been going on for a while.
And now Fiona's like, what register?
But yeah, so no, there's some pretty amazing stuff coming through the pipeline, and we're pretty lucky that, the company, 25, 26 years ago, had the foresight to say, well, let's just fill these barrels and throw them up the back there and leave them for someone else to deal with down the line. And we're now really lucky that we get to reap those rewards, and that they decided right when they even first got started, let's make sure that we make the whiskey literally from grain right through to the final outcome all on site. So, we can take comfortable sort of assurity in the fact that everything in those barrels directly is from us right through, and that will form definitely a key part of our story next year when we're celebrating that for the 30th anniversary.
And before we get into the next one, a little bit of Squire Ross from an independent bottler's point of view.
Well, I put this up earlier, but you just kept blabbering on, Ray, so I had to take it back down because you were just talking.
I was talking. I apologise for having input.
Yes, Ross. We're perfectly happy to work with some great Australian independent bottlers, even though that group that just released that great Furno release, by all means.
That's called Truth and Consequence for anyone wondering at home. Truth and Consequence just released a Furno, by the way. We can say that here. It's quite delicious. I have tried it. There we go. Mr. Zach Luke's got it. We're all about the.
I was just going to say we do work with a lot of independent bottling companies. Just happens that most of them are overseas because we have exported a lot for a long time. So we do deal with La Maison, the whiskey over in Europe because they're our export partner, and they obviously then help us connect to a lot of markets over in Germany and the Netherlands and right through that whole area. So we do a lot of independent bottlings, but for groups over there. But definitely I'm always keen to work with people locally as well. So I'll give you a call, Big Ross.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just before we get into this, I've got about 3 different things going on here right now because there's so many bottles and cans. No, I'm joking. I'm good. But The porter's got a smokiness to it, which I guess is in the roasting. Andrew, that's for you, which really suits this peated whiskey for me. And also, Fiona, I'm noticing a lot of those are not touching mid 50, but just below it. Is that your sweet spot? This is 52.5. The last one was 52.8, and the one before that was 54.7. So I'm there's a pattern. There's a pattern.
There's a pattern there. Look, and would be remiss, I suppose, not to also say excise is a bitch.
And also, we've run out a bit of this barrel, so I need to top it up. No, I'm kidding.
Excise. Wait, what are you guys saying? You're still above the remission? No, sorry.
There is I suppose, to use one of my boss's favourite words, a tension between excise and what we're going to have to fork out to the tax department and where it drinks best. Probably shouldn't say that, actually, but anyway, I have now.
After a couple of beers, a few drams, you know what you want.
Yeah.
On this one, Fiona, there's obviously it's a blend of casks.
This one
it's almost like a chocolate malted flavour going on in there.
In this one.
Yeah, you get that. Like
you
that
just have the beer instead.
You have this first.
No.
Are we on the peated now? Is that?
Yes. Catch up.
Have we skipped over the coffee porter? I think we should talk a little bit about coffee porter.
Yeah, you know that. I always say that chocolatey yogo flavour off.
Yogo.
Yeah, chocolate. Yeah, yogo, not yogurt. The one with the gorilla on it.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. I always get that off when there's a like 21 years is the youngest. I'd be interested to understand what the oldest was in this, and what the malt was.
Yeah. So the story for this cask is it's 1 of 5 in that finishing, and I picked this one to go off to the World Whisky Awards, which obviously paid off in spades.
Tick.
But so this was, as I said, finishing in our own ex-peated cask. So the whiskey itself is not a peated whiskey that went into those casks. It's from 2003, once again. But the barrels that it went into were freshly decanted from our 2004 heavily peated. So
Right.
in 2004, we had our first ever batch of, I'm thinking it was probably Baird's back then as well, Baird's heavily peated malt. And those freshly decanted barrels we filled in as a finishing to see what would happen. And you know, that peat character that's in this is substantial. It's not just a sniff, but it's beautiful. And I think what I love about this whiskey is the depth. Like it's got a beautiful length and a real caramel back end, like really great depth. So, and I love peat. So that's the story of the cask. It's 1 of 5. There's still 4 fighting in the bond store. One I actually can't locate. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Someone just hasn't put it in the register.
That's not bad to shoot that one.
I think 2 of them, didn't we just do for La Maison? Because they're 22.
No, they were the 2004 actual peated casks. So they've just turned 22. Yeah. So like peated and then a richly peated from that run in 2004. That's what we did with La Maison. Yeah. So, it's a cool whiskey, and I'm really keen to assess the other casks to see if they're as peaty when I can locate that missing one.
So since you're using your own peated whiskey casks, what's your peat source? Do you just get peated? Do you buy peated barley, or are you not peat smoking yourself up there, are you?
No, we import and always have done beds, heavily peated malt Inverness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 44 to 50 ppm on the malt.
And you guys do your own wash and everything. As like that's 21 years or 20 years, so pretty close. But has it ever changed yeast wise or anything? You've always done the same thing? Because this whiskey for me is almost like an ale, like a brewer's yeast. It's
They did do some experimentation way back. But I think it was actually a massive failure, and they made the entire plant smell like arse. It did not work.
You get a lot of it in Australian whiskey because of the brewer's yeast.
Yeah, no,
if you've never had a Westwood or anything like that, and honestly, that's what I'm getting on the backbone of the 21-year-old.
Yeah, right.
You know, a bit of that brewer's yeast, that funky yogurt, I should say. Flavor. So that, I'd be interested to find out.
No, so as far as I can tell from the records, the yeast they've used for the whiskey that's been successful has just been a standard distiller malt whiskey yeast. And that's what we're using now. We're using a Lallemand distiller's yeast for malt whiskey. So nothing crazy, but it's a really great performer, that yeast. It goes really, really well in the time frames that we have for our production schedule. But going back, that experiment they did with Bogues, I know they got some yeast slurry in and tried to re-ferment out something.
Try to make a sour mash.
Yeah,
things went sour.
So it did not work. Interesting stuff.
We do have some. Did you touch on the ex-Bogues wash situation, Fee?
Not yet, no. So 2005, Bogues were experimenting with making low alcohol beer for the first time. Their Bogues Premium Light, which they still make, but obviously by quite a different method. So back then they were actually brewing a full strength beer and then vacuum distilling off the excess alcohol. And they ended up with a whole bunch of booze that they didn't know what to do with. Like, what do we do with this? Yeah, well, I don't know that they got into trouble from Taswater, if that tells you anything. So in the end, Hellyers did acquire quite a lot of this Bogues condensate that they called it, and redistilled it on our stills, and popped some of it into barrel, which is great foresight. I think there's only 13 casks they laid down, and made vodka with the other portion, which is interesting in itself. But those casks that are laid down, they're all wildly different and do have some hop character and interesting, very floral notes, but they are wild. They're 21 years old, 21-year-old Australian grain whiskey. So we'll be releasing a part of one of those casks this year as our very last anniversary release. And beyond that, not too sure about those casks. They certainly were a real, when we poured it at one of our events like recently in the Bond store, the event we did with Phil Seabads, everyone was asking about it afterwards. So I'm keen to see actually what people think of it when we do actually find it.
I've been lucky enough to try some of the grain whiskey. I think a sample I tried was 18 years old. It's fantastic. Some of the best grain whiskey I've tried. It's wild though. It's unlike any other grain whiskey I've tried. Like, yeah, there's some amazing like golden kiwi fruit flavors coming through. I remember it was stunning.
Awesome.
It just sort of sits in this funny point now because it's of this age where if we sold it to the value of its age, it's too expensive for grain whiskey, both on the international market and the Australian acceptance. So
that's a tricky point, because how do you find a category in which people accept what it's worth? It's not that it's not worth that. It's like it's getting people to accept. They've got to try it. They've got to get liquid on lips, and then they'll realise how amazing that
Wow,
product is.
it's just so wildly different to anything they're ever going to find in Australia. I think, yeah.
It is potentially a tough sell, though. I get it, but it's fun to drink.
Mate, what isn't fun to drink though? Let's be honest. I do really like this peated. I love peated whiskey, but it's not my favourite out of the three. I'm not going to lie.
We haven't done a poll yet. That's a very yeah. Ooh.
Well, I was about to like blow everyone away with my my tasting note, which is maybe.
Let's go.
Like, I get a similar sort of mint, like spearmint, that I get from a rye whiskey, and I don't know where that's coming from.
That's not
And I love a rye whiskey. I love the spearmint in a rye whiskey because I know it's a rye whiskey that will have spearmint, but this has it, and it could also be because I've had 5 beers and 4 other whiskeys, so
could be that.
maybe.
That was your tasty note, is that you get spearmint. That was it. That's what you made us wait for.
Well, I can see them. I can see like those mint leaf lollies that you talk about at the start, but it goes away very quickly for me. But yeah, I can see that.
Now, when you said that, that's literally all I can taste is spearmint. That was the most powerful suggestion.
It's like with our last stream where I gave a tasting note and was sort of convinced people that I'd poured the wrong whiskey.
But that's the thing. Like,
I don't think you convinced anyone. Just you got a little bit of support from Simon, just to humour you and be polite.
It was just trying to shut me up, just get me off that.
Yeah.
I mean, that menthol note or mint is something you get in quite a few peated whiskies. I need someone smarter than I that might know the science behind that. Teague, I'm looking at you. Why do we get those minty, mentholy notes often in whiskies that have a bit of peat?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I don't know exactly why the phenols seem to entice people to those sorts of notes. I get occasionally spearmint as a floor sometimes on unpeated whiskies, but I agree it does appear on those early stages in some peated whiskies, and I quite enjoy it. So.
Okay. Some of the research, some homework for our next
It may have something to do with peat being from the ground. Anyway, John, you said you had like a lot of tasting notes, and mint is one. So please do carry.
No, look, you can't spot my
Look, it's just mint. Okay, well, so let's. So we've stepped up a year. 21 years old. Devads, what are we looking at for a bottle of this?
This is $13.50.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was underwhelming, Devads. You could have really had some flourish with that, deliver it. Like,
I'm thinking of a response.
It comes in a black sassafras wood box. It's a secret locking mechanism. It looks fantastic.
Do you have one there? Can you show us? Does
it really?
Can you show us what it looks like?
I don't have one in front of me. My budget doesn't go that far. It's lovely. It's made 10 minutes from our distillery by a local woodworker who's fantastic at what he does. And the
Do you have a
boxes
picture? Something. No?
Yeah, on our website. If you go there and when you buy one, you'll see it there. So it'll be very handy.
I'm not going to try and present to this stream at the minute because who knows what's going to show up.
This is probably my pick of the 3 drams tonight. So I love this. I'm having a great time, especially with that coffee porter as pairings bang on as well.
Thank you for bringing that up, Andrew. This
one of my favorites.
Delicious. Can you please give us some backbone or back knowledge on this one?
Oh, coffee porter. Right, so this one's actually one of the first beers that we ever brewed. That I brewed. On the shed. It was actually a bond store. Not many people's shed is a bond store, but my shed was. So like I said earlier, we're actually sitting in our cafe as well. So the chapel in Burnie and so we have access to a lot of coffee. And so what goes better with a nice porter, which kind of comes with a lot of coffee notes anyway from the roast malts. But what goes better than just like a shit ton more coffee? So we actually put 300 double espressos in our tank, which takes actually hours. We've got a three-head coffee machine over there, and I can work all three heads at the same time, and it still takes hours to brew.
So just on that, none of us sleeping tonight. Thanks.
No,
No.
I was gonna say, good luck.
What I'm hearing is, are you saying I should be having this for breakfast instead of coffee?
Exactly. It is a breakfast beer. It's fully acceptable as a breakfast beer. Because
Do you have it on tap at the chapel in Burnie? Do you have it on tap there?
Oh, we don't have any taps. We do. You can. There is cans. Yeah, so you can have it for breakfast.
You can still drink it. You like that? Yeah.
A great spot for breakfast if you are in Burnie too. It is a good spot for breakfast.
Yeah. Yep. Good brekkie. It also has a batch of cold brew in it as well, because one delivers the flavour, the taste, and the other delivers the aroma, and so they go really well together. And so, as a percentage, though, it is like it's a 1,000-litre tank. So I have done the sums, and it is a fraction of a coffee. So you don't have to worry about sleeping tonight. If you drink a whole beer, it's still only a fraction of a coffee. But it does obviously smell a lot like coffee. One of the annoying things is that this beer has a medal, has got a gold medal before, but every time that we submit it to a beer competition, literally half of the judges are, it's too much coffee, and honestly, the other half of the judges are not enough coffee. So I don't know what.
I guarantee if you didn't tell them the coffee was in it, or you took that off there, that would smell like, oh, that's delicious. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give them the hint to start with. But you guys obviously know each other quite well and everything. Would you do something really cool where Communion made your wash for a run or something and filled some barrels?
Jeez, you're busy.
Okay, so one of the dirty secrets in Burnie is that Communion is actually very small. we kind of punch above our weight a little bit. We have a 500-litre brew house, so we run it twice to fill one of our tanks, which is 1,000 litres, and we actually have a 2,000-litre tank as well, which technically you have to run.
So all I'm hearing, Andrew, is it's possible.
It's possible. What's your how many litres of wash do you need? It's at 8%.
31,500 litres.
That's like a full week. It's a week of brewing.
Just stock up and then just do it. They shut down.
That would be fun though, but sounds like a lot of work. We are also like horrifically behind in our beer production, so we'd have to have a very quiet week to be able to do that.
Yes.
But there is plenty of collaboration still.
Indeed, and that's one of our favourite things to do every year.
Favourite things to do.
Dark Harmony. Yeah. So up at the distillery at the moment, we've got the B-side. So for the off season, which is a Tasmanian government initiative to promote Tassie in winter, and they spend squillions on this promotion. So we've got in on the act this year with our the cask that didn't get bottled as Dark Harmony. We've built a little 70s lounge room in the cellar door with the record player and the B-sides to the Dark Harmony casks. So it's a bit of fun.
And they're really good.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I can recommend.
But to probably elaborate on that, we do a series every year with Andrew where we release a whiskey called the Dark Harmony series, where he brews a beer, puts it into Hellyers Road whiskey barrels, then that beer comes out and Fiona puts whiskeys back in to finish it. And every year we've done that for 5 years now. So we've had 5 series.
There's one coming out because there's 4 bottles on my shelf.
No, 4 years. We did 2 in 1 year.
Oh,
we're about to release the fifth iteration. So, and that we're releasing for Dark Mofo, and that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And that's a Baltic Porter cask release. Yep. And that that'll be getting released really soon. It's really cool. So yeah,
how would you describe Dark Mofo to mainlanders who have never been to Dark Mofo? I think
I've never been.
It's well worth going. I've been a couple of times.
It's pretty epic. I would say it is a world-class festival. So Dark Mofo is the broader festival. It has a lot of weird, arty stuff that I don't understand. That is basically sponsored by Mona, who kind of puts the whole festival on, and their whole thing is a kind of fascination with death and sex and religion. And so you kind of cram all those things into a midwinter festival. And then the main thing for me is the Winter Feast, which is the kind of the big food and beverage gathering in the middle of Hobart. And it's a lot of fire, a lot of, as in like thousands of candles, thousands of candles.
They replenish every day as well. They walk around and like replenish all of the candles.
Literally thousands of candles every day. It's very, 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 very cool. It's my favourite thing to do in the whole world.
Yes.
We go down there and we pour beer out of a pulpit. We literally built a pulpit, so you come down and get beer poured out of that. And it's really, really good.
You administer communion, it could be said.
We do administer communion for no extra charge.
Sounds like something I'd love.
Oh,
I
man.
will
You
absolutely
would.
be there. Plenty of communion this year as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll have the barrel-aged Baltic Porter on tap.
Beautiful.
We've got 9 kegs and 9 kegs only because that's all that was left after we canned it all. So yeah,
And
it's
then,
going to be
yeah,
we're going to
and
be
the-
bringing out
and the
last
whiskey
one.
and the whiskey.
And we'll have the barrel. So we've got a barrel on the bench pouring the whiskey along, and we'll be making a delicious old-fashioned with a porter old-fashioned.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
that'd be my jam. I'll be lining up.
Yeah.
All right.
the
Well,
old
what
fashions are your jam.
I love an old fashioned. While we're on it though, we can't do a poll, but we can run around the room as you were. But my favourite was definitely peaches tonight, and let's see what everyone else reckons. John, take it away.
I actually think I'm going to go for the Voyager. I just love that little bit of leather that comes through. Just a little bit meatier.
Yep.
That's
my favourite of the juice you wear.
For me, the peaches cask, the whole story and the going through it and that unique flavour profile just pops.
They did talk you up. I don't know why, but they did. Andrew, what was your favourite?
Yeah, okay, peaches.
Oh,
Yeah, I've had another sip and it is pretty good.
here's something controversial. Fiona, what's yours?
what a shock. Peaches.
Copy that. Simon?
Yeah.
For me, it was the peated tonight. Absolutely loving it. Also, would definitely help with that pairing with coffee porter was awesome. But
It's okay to be wrong. It's fine.
we can also say that taste is subjective, but whatever. We can go down that route if you want.
Mark, it's whiskey is my jam.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward in July to hosting a 100% peated night with Hellyers Road and Lefroy. So I also will vote for the peated tonight.
Beautiful.
Also, good to be wrong. Corey?
Got
peaches.
Here
Peaches
we
for
go.
me.
Yep. Zach? You're muted, my friend. You're muted.
Maybe
You might need to run in the chat which one's your favourite.
3.
We'll make Zach's up if we need a deciding vote.
Yeah. Hold up the bottle.
Yeah, just go, 1, 2, or 3.
It's
What do you
backwards. I can't read it.
It's the
Peated.
peated. Yes.
Andy, how'd you go?
Look, this is a really difficult one for me because I think starting with that beautiful malty beer and straight into the Voyager, which just had the most incredible Speyside flavors, I just wasn't expecting it. And it was just beautiful, kind of like that custard apples, biscuity malt beer. It just won me over. But then I did try something with the peated cask, and although it wasn't my favorite immediately, I had the porter and then I smashed a dark Tim Tam, and then and then I had this at the end, and it was the most incredible journey of dark chocolate, coffee.
I love it. I love it.
It just took over. So my favorite started with the Voyager, but I ended on the peated. And look, this is.
Mate,
I think there's one thing to work
we run
with.
out of time halfway through your story, so the vote doesn't count.
Oh, all right, mate. All right, take
But I
it
think there's one
easy.
thing- I think there's one thing to take from this, Andy, and it's Tim Tams for the win.
Yeah.
I think so. I cheated.
I love it. Awesome. Oh, wow.
That's good.
Then you go
That's the
counting-
sign
then
though
you go
of a great
counting then,
lineup.
Jarvis.
Having it divided like that, that's a great tasting lineup.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you, Fiona, Debaz, Andrew, for putting this together. Not you, Andrew. You didn't put the whiskeys together. Thank you for putting the beers together.
Yeah, beers.
Which you've done very well, by the way. Well, you've got to start with the beer to make a whiskey, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the coffee pot is always, like I said, one of my favourite beers. But it's so hard to find in my independent bottle shops in Hobart. Just saying, you should work on that.
I'll get onto it. You just need to then you'll be fine.
Will you be working at the Winter Feast? Because I will be annoying you. If you
all day, every day.
I will be there all day,
I
every day
literally
as
did the
well.
rosters today. I'm there all of the time.
And just for the guys who don't live in Tasmania, when is Winter Feast?
It's the second and third weekend in June.
June. Oh, right. So just around the corner.
Thursday to Sunday, and then Thursday to Sunday.
So you got June when Taz Whiskey Weekend starts, or Taz Whiskey Week starts in August.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
But
you
there's
really
like
split them apart a little bit.
If you are not in Tassie for whiskey tourism, Dark Mofo is the number one thing to do, honestly. And you can combine whiskey with it too. It's a great time of year to drink whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sad to say that I think the nudie swim has already sold out.
Yeah, it's
so
sold out.
You've already missed out there. Sorry, guys.
Unless you know somebody. or not. And that was not I actually welcome your response.
Every swim at Ray's place is a nudie swim, from what I've heard.
And that
all
just
right.
ruined
Well, I
my
reckon this
night.
seems like a good segue to say we're going to wrap this up and stop the live portion of this stream. Thanks, Mark, for ruining it for all of us. Thank you, Andrew, Fiona, Debaz, for coming on, joining us tonight. Not knowing what you were walking into. To be honest, we didn't know what you were walking into either. We just sort of roll with the punches. So, Ray actually made a comment earlier. Just, it's another small thing. He was like, "Yeah, I don't have a plan," and my comment was, "When do you ever have a plan for a stream?" They've got to be natural. They've got to be a bit of fun. But really do appreciate you all coming along and sharing a whiskey and beer with us. And thank you to everybody else who joined us. And I think that's about it. Anything else, Ray?
No. Good night. Thanks for joining. It's been a fun time, and we've got. No, we've got our fun. We've got our next. It is a Whisky Wayfarers. So we've got our next release coming up, which hopefully everyone's seeing. A lot of B-tax and things. Are we allowed to put this up? There we go. That's happening. But that's bourbon. That's bourbon, and jump on. These things are almost like not even bi-monthly. It's almost like 3 times a month now, where we're doing these virtual. So, cheers everyone.
Next week we have Jack Daniels tasting.
We got Andy. Andy is on that. Oh no, Andy's running. Andy's running.
It's Andy's show.
Yeah. So, yep.
Hey, that's a flex, Debats. That's a flex.
So that'll be on Tuesday night, and I'm looking forward to seeing some virtually familiar faces. Like Mark pretends he doesn't like bourbon, but again, we've got a recording of him ordering bourbon, and so he really does like it. But we'll get there with him. But no, cheers to all. It's been a great night, and I look forward to more. Always.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to
Thank you, Fiona and Andrew. Cheers,
Thanks,
Dave.
Steve.